Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to go through a quick tutorial here on how to install and set up Gamebrowser on your server. Now what we're going to start with on here is what the tutorial starts with, is having the correct folder structure for your games. Now, it's actually pretty simple when you look at it. You're going to have a root games folder. In that root games folder, you have all the different game platforms that you're going to want to set up. You have Atari, Super Nintendo, Nintendo, whatever. In each one of those folders, you will have each game in its own folder. Inside each game folder, you'll have the ROM file, or the ISO, or whatever. Now I'll show you what that looks like on mine. Now this are my emulators here. This is my actual root games folder right here. When you go into there, these are all the different game platforms I have set up. Now, say my root games folder will go to the NES folder. And these are all my NES games. In each of these folders, the only thing I originally put in here was the ROM file. Gamebrowser will go ahead and fetch all the rest, so you don't have to worry about any of that. That's all you need for all these different game platforms here. There is one exception to this, and that's with MAME. Now with MAME, as you can see, in your root games folder, you'll have a folder named MAME, Arcade, whatever it is you want to name it. You can put every single zip file that you have for each game in that one folder. They don't need to be in their own game folders. They can all be in that same MAME or Arcade folder. Even if you have, like all 10,000 ROMs or however many you feel like getting for that. Okay, but that is the basic folder structure you want to have. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and start installing the plugin on the server. Now to do that, you're going to want to go to your server dashboard. Do you know where that is? If you go to the web client, click on the little settings tab at the top. This would be your dashboard. You want to go to the plugins tab, go to catalog, and you want to scroll down to Gamebrowser. And you want to click install. After install, it's going to want you to restart the server. Click restart. And then once it comes back up, it's going to do a library scan, and then we will go ahead and move on to the next step. Okay, so now that library scan's been completed, we're going to move on to the next step. After the Gamebrowser 3 plugin has been installed and the server has been restarted, you'll click on your plugins tab in the dashboard, stay on My Plugins, and click on Gamebrowser. Then we'll click on Platform Configuration. Now what you want to do here is you want to add every game platform that you want to have set up. Now to start, click this little magnifying glass here for the path. And you're going to want to browse to the path of whatever game platform you want to set up. Now it is ideal to use UNC paths. And all that is going through your network as such, and using this UNC path right here instead. If you don't want to do that, you can just use your local path, and that's just fine. But it is recommended that you use the UNC path, especially if you want to do things like stream your games over your LAN or anything like that. Now for the purpose of this video, I'll go and just stick with my usual UNC path. So we're going to start by adding the Atari, and then you want to select the platform. This is Atari 2600, and click Save. And you can see it add the platform. And now we'll move on to the next one. Which is the DS. So we're going to change this to the Nintendo DS. Click Save. And we're going to go and repeat this for every game platform that we want to set up. Let's go to the next one, which is the GameCube. So we'll change this to Nintendo GameCube. Click Save. Nintendo Game Boy. Now, for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me add every single one, so we'll just stick with those four for now. But after you get all your game platforms set up, it should automatically trigger a library scan, which you can see it already did. If yours doesn't, you can go to Advanced, Scheduled Tasks, and then click the little play arrow next to Scan Media Library. And then once this is done, the server is basically all set up. All we have to do at this point is set up the clients to actually launch the games. So once this library scan is done, I will come back and we'll go and finish this. Okay, so now that this library scan is finally done, our server should be all set up. So we can go back to our server dashboard. And there's one more thing we have to do on the server. You have to go up here to the Library tab. You're going to click on Add Media Folder. Change the content type to Games. You can name it whatever you like. Then you click OK. I already had them added apparently. Then after you have that added, you want to click this little plus next to Media Locations. You want to browse to your root game folder. In my case, it's right here. So it has all my different game platforms inside of it. So we'll click OK. And that's it. And then after this, it's going to do another library scan. Once that's done, we can go into the clients and set those up. I'll be back. Okay, so now that the server is all completely set up, we're ready to go ahead and start setting up the clients. Now, I don't have Windows Media Center on this machine, so I'm not going to be able to show you how to set up Media Browser Classic, but I can show you how to set up Media Browser Theater. That is actually fairly simple. All it requires you to set up external players, so start by opening Media Browser Theater. And if you set up everything right on the server, you should have a Games tab with all your game systems that you set up over here on the side. With all the games inside there. But you'll notice there's no play button. This is why we set up the external players. So what you want to do is you want to click on these little 3 rows of lines up here next to your profile picture. And you want to go to Settings, External Players. You want to click Add Player. You want to change the media type to game. You can leave the player as external player. And then you'll see game system, so we'll start with the Atari. First thing you want to do is check the file extensions for whatever the extension of the ROMs are that you have. My Atari, they are all A26. So you want to check that. And then media player path. Now this is the location of your emulator. So we'll minimize this for a moment. We will go to my Atari emulator, which I happen to use Stella. If you right click on the exe and go to properties, you get the location of it, so you can copy that, you can go back into Media Theater, and then you can paste that. Now you do have to have the actual exe on there, so we'll just add that to the end real quick. This is \stella.exe. And then it'll automatically change the command line arguments for you, so you don't have to worry about that at all. If you wanted to close the emulator automatically, when you push stop on your remote, you go and check that and click submit. And you just have to repeat this for each console. So we're going to do one more. Change the game, the Nintendo DS. We'll check the file extension. We will go to our NDS emulator. We'll right click, properties, and copy the location. paste that in here. We'll backslash again. This one's got a long name, so I'm just going to copy the name of this one. Okay. Click submit, and you'll repeat that for each game platform that you want to have set up. And then once you're done, you can go into your games, and you will have a play button, and you're good to go. And that's basically all it takes for setting up Gamebrowser Theater, is you just have to set up an external player and just show it the location of where your emulator is for each game platform. And that's basically it. If you do need help getting the Gamebrowser Classic set up, it's a similar setup, but you can follow the tutorial on the forum. If I pick up a machine that happens to have Windows Media Center at some point, I'll go ahead and make a new tutorial that will include that as well.